Hello guys, welcome back. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to I stream every day, documenting my practice sessions, and hopefully you guys can join me and have a good time. Like I mentioned yesterday, I think I've finally fixed all the issues I had with the bandwidth, so hopefully I'll keep an eye on the kbps little counter down there, and if there's any issues, please do let me know, because that's how you grow, that's how you improve. Apologies if I'm a little bit dirty, if I look a bit dirty. I just came back from working in the garden, and I figured, I hadn't done my practice today. So here we go. So grab your bases. I promise this time I'm not gonna talk too much between the exercises and the variants. I'll just talk my way through them as best I can, and we all know that I don't do that very well, so bear with me. In any case, we'll start with our usual little winning trifecta or fourfecta, or however many there are. At 60 BPM, we're going to do one finger per fret, starting at fret 9, and unmute the amp. Alright, should be getting through. Lovely. Right, we've got our click. Gonna walk our way down the fretboard, and then down in semitones, and do the same thing all the way down to F, and then quickly move through the other 2 or 3 variants that we're gonna do today. And if you guys have any questions in the meantime, feel free to ask, because there's a lot to explore there, both in the left hand and the right hand, and all of the little secrets I am ready to share with you guys, because it's bass is a surprisingly complicated instrument for people who have never touched the bass before. They won't get it, but you guys do. You get it. That's why you're here. That's why you're joining me. And do comment. I will be posting tomorrow all of the stuff I've done on the Patreon. There's not too much yet, but grab it while it's free, because it won't be forever. And the more there is, the more likely it will be that the day after there will be a paywall. Potentially, we'll see how good of a quality I can come up with. In any case, guys, here we go at 60 BPM, one finger per fret, 3, 4, and. Down a semitone. Make sure your tone is really consistent. These notes ring on for as long as possible. Don't want no choppy. That's not what we want here. That's another exercise potentially for muting, but here we're letting these notes ring as much as possible, as open a sound as possible. We're totally in control of what sounds coming out of our basses. Down semitone, same again. Make sure these fingers are as close as possible to the actual metallic bit of the fret, just before the next note, because that's how you get the best tone. I'm clipping a little bit. Down to G. No, I'm clipping so much. There's no rush. Playing exactly on the click. Not rushing. Not playing behind the beat. We just know exactly when the next tick is going to come. We're aiming exactly for that. Last one. Okay, our second variant. We're not going to go all the way through the neck for this one, so we'll just start from the fifth fret on the E string, which is an A, and we're gonna skip strings essentially. We're gonna play the E string, then the D, then the A string, and then the G string. 3, 4. That wasn't good. And I messed it up. So I'm going to start again on this one. Down to G. Down to F sharp. Another cool thing to remember is your thumb positioning. Okay, so when I'm talking about thumb positioning, if you see where it is in comparison to my fingers, it's, I'd say, a bit less than just halfway. Sorry guys, there was something going on with the phone, my bad. So as I said, the thumb is always trying to position itself, especially when you're higher up in the neck. Here it's actually easier. It can be sort of closer, sort of in between your index finger and your middle finger. But up here you need a lot more support because the fingers are a lot more spread out, a lot more splayed. No, splayed would be like this. They're a lot more spread out than up here. So always important to think about your thumb positioning. It should be there as a support to make it a really, really strong, really solid structure that we can move as easily as possible. One famous example of that for bass players is the For Once in My Life. I don't know which part I played there. Was it the end of the chorus? Something like that. In any case, when you require a lot of mobility up there, super important to have your thumb always in support of your fingers. And if there's ever something that you're struggling with, that's probably because your thumb is not in the right place, not where it should be. In any case, third variant, that's the painful one, and that is the sort of static hold thing that I keep mentioning all the time, where we play the notes and we don't move our fingers until they have to play the next note. So we're creeping like some sort of spider. It's not the spider. It's not the spider though. But that's what we're going to do with this one. We'll start on A because it's a bit long to do on the whole thing, and I don't have a lot of time today, unfortunately. So here we go. 3, 4, and... Again, we're letting all of these notes ring out for as long as possible. Especially when we go back down here. Sorry about the clipping, guys. I didn't do this one well at all. I'm going to start over again. Last one. Okay, and I'm not unhappy with that. Which is a very British way of saying I'm actually okay with that. Penultimate variant, the spider. Yeah, I'm sure you guys remember. 3, 4. Not good enough. Don't know why I did that twice. Ooh, starting to hurt a little bit. That's okay, no problem at all. Just gonna wait for a second, shake it off, and we're off again. 3, 4. Always play this one twice. I don't know why. That's okay. Little pause, shake it off. Shake it off here as well. No breather, no problem at all. And we're back again. Nope. 3, 4. And down to F. Play through the pain. And here we are. Whew. That one's always a little bit painful, isn't it? Alright guys, there was something I wanted to talk about today, which was the idea of playing what people call in the pocket, but I'm not sure that's exactly, I'm not sure in the pocket is the actual, well, I don't know if there is an actual term, but it's what people usually refer to playing behind the beat. but it's playing just ever so slightly behind the tempo, whatever sort of tempo the drummer is setting. You're locked in. Your tempo is not moving at all. You're not fluctuating between in BPMs. You're at the same um, consistently playing at the same BPM, but your placement in relation to the rhythmic section will be slightly behind, and it's a very subtle thing. Always going back to my old mentor, my old bass teacher. He took hours and hours to try and find examples of tracks that had this particular feature in it, and one that I found was an absolute great representative for that is this particular song. This is No Alibis by Eric Clapton. Oh, I forgot to include the Spotify plugin in the overlay today. Sorry, guys. That'll be there next time. This track is phenomenal as an example of this thing where we're always told that bass should be played, exactly on the beat or as it is. But here, it's just the whole rhythm section is so far behind, and the bass player is just it seems to me like he's even more relaxed in his placement than the drummer is, because the drummer still has to. It's a slow track if you think about it. It's not fast. It's not a particularly fast tempo, but it just really feels like a sort of relentless. There's a relentless drive to it. Like it's just like a train. It's just a really powerful song, and I feel like the placement of the rhythmic section is what really makes this song. What gives it all of its attitude, and just makes you want to just bob your head. It's a really powerful, feeling, emotion. I'm not sure, and I'll just play through it again just to sort of. Guys can hear it, but it's a difficult thing to describe. It really is a feel that you acquire by listening to this type of track. They're far and few in between these songs. So I do have a list of about, well, there's probably hundreds of them, but the ones I could think of, there's probably 4 or 5 that have this sort of sections where there's no vocals. It's just a long intro, and it just allows you to really to listen really carefully for that bass part and how it intertwines with the drums, and it's a super cool thing to practice, because it gives you a lot more control over your own placement. Essentially, once you start hearing that you have a little bit of a margin when it comes to placing your bass, slightly rushing, give it that sort of like super fast, funky kind of vibe, like really fast paced, frantic even. Here the energy is not frantic at all. It's the opposite of that. It's super deliberate. It's slow, deliberate, and it just doesn't stop. Like literally, it's like a train at its cruising speed. You just feel like it's just unstoppable, and not because it's technically demanding, or because it's a complicated bass line. It's just because it just doesn't move at all. They don't move at all, but they're placed slightly behind the sort of pulse, the pulse of the song is they're slightly behind it essentially, but it gives it that super powerful, like no one's gonna stop me kind of vibe. And these kind of rock songs, what's the other one? Black Velvet. Black Velvet is another one of these tracks that has this kind of feeling. White Snake has another one of these tracks. Could be Is This Love? Could be Is This Love? That has a similar kind of drive. Simply the Best, Tina Turner, similar kind of feel, except this one's a little bit faster, a little bit more subtle, but it is definitely there. And all of these songs have this kind of, they immediately give you this kind of like, oh yeah, this is serious business. Like these guys are just, they whatever they're singing, that they mean it. The music is supporting that kind of message. It's just like in your face, but in a, I find it in an even more powerful way than a super heavy metal track. You know, it's not just loudness; it's the deliberate feel that you get from that kind of pulse. And here I go again, off on one of my little bass rambles. Um, so I'm sort of piecing it together because this is something that I spent a lot of time talking about with my bass teacher, my bass mentor, my Mr. Miyagi. Um, and we spent months and months and months going back and forth. You know, we do other things during our sessions, but we'd always spend a bit of time on this until the moment he heard me and he was like, that's it, you've got it, you've you're playing it like it's supposed to be played. And I was like, oh, that's what you meant. Well, why didn't you just say that it was that? I was like, well, I was saying that, but it's something that you sort of have to figure out for yourself how you understand it. There's nobody else's angle is gonna work for you in terms of understanding it. You have to just bash your head against that problem until you get it, or put a playlist together of all of these tracks, which I will do, and I will put on the Patreon as well. Anyway, I'll definitely revisit this particular concept that I will call playing behind the beat, even though it's not behind the beat. You know, like Pino on the D'Angelo records, where he's deliberately playing. You know, I can't remember exactly what they call the joint or chicken grease and all of these tracks. Just absolutely fantastic. So it's not that kind of behind the beat where everybody can hear it and it creates this kind of like elastic, rubbery vibe that's really, really funky. That's not exactly that. It's something in between. But again, just to illustrate that, these two things might be different, but the fact that they exist is, I think, the whole point. Is there's so much more to explore in terms of rhythmical placement than just the rhythm itself, the composition, the sort of written down rhythmical values of the notes. It's a lot more than that. It's something that's behind the ink. Behind the ink. That's it's not. It's yeah. It's you can't really write that down freely. Yeah. In any case, that's definitely a concept I will revisit. A little bit of a short practice session today, guys, because as I said, I had a lot of other work to do on that today. Hey, awesome, man. Thanks for the follow. Really appreciate that. Lovely. I'll be streaming every day of this week. Similar practice sessions, but always talking about different like little concepts. So awesome, bro. I appreciate that. Thanks. Welcome. That's really cool. In any case, guys, sorry for cutting it short today, but I promise you that tomorrow will be a longer session. I'll revisit a bunch of concepts that we went through this week as a bit of a recapitulation. I'll also be pointing a link at the Patreon where you'll be able to access some written down resources. That way, all of that it exists now. It's not just out there disappearing as I'm saying it. Super cool, awesome, guys. Well, I really appreciate whoever's turned up. Thanks very much. Again, I'll be here probably around the same time tomorrow. I will definitely schedule the stream again. It'll be scheduled at some point in the morning, so you guys will know exactly what time I'll be on. And then over the weekend, same thing again. And then we're off to a new week, and I'll come up with some more cool talking points and things to explore about the bass that I feel a lot of people don't really talk about so much, because maybe it's not as flashy as like this scale will make you sound awesome, or 5 things bass players never do, or something like that. Um, I think it's a bit somewhere between the lines, but in any case, I think that's what really gave me yeah, I don't want to say a cool sound, but gave me a bit more of my identity when I play. Um, and I hope that yeah, I hope that I can transmit that to you guys over the course of the next few weeks. So more material online will be coming in tomorrow from the Patreon for free. It'll be for free. Wait, I can do that? Cool. Technology, eh? Sick. Thanks very much, guys. Tune up tomorrow, because today it's done. Tune up tomorrow again for another session. And have a lovely evening, or morning, or dinner, lunch, wherever you're looking at me from. Toodles.